Bismillah wa salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. We're going to start with verse 246, inshallah, and my page is page 40. ألم تر إلى الملأ أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تر إلى الملأ من بني إسرائيل من بعد موسى إذ قالوا لنبي لهم ابعث لنا ملكا نقاتل في سبيل الله قال هل عصيتم إن كتب عليكم القتال ألا تقاتلوا قالوا وما لنا ألا نقاتل في سبيل الله وقد أخرجنا من ديارنا وأبنائنا فلما كتب عليهم القتال تولوا إلا قليلا منهم والله عليم بالظالمين وقال لهم نبيهم إن الله قد بعث لكم طالوت ملكا قالوا أنى يكون له الملك علينا ونحن أحق بالملك منه ولم يؤت سعة من المال قال إن الله اصطفاه عليكم وزاده بسطة في العلم والجسم والله يؤتي ملكه من يشاء والله واسع عليم. وقال لهم نبيهم إن آية ملكه أن يأتيكم التابوت فيه سكينة فيه سكينة من ربكم وبقية مما ترك آل موسى مما ترك آل موسى وآل هارون تحمله الملائكة إن في ذلك لآية لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين. صدق الله العظيم. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. The first ayah number 246, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he's saying to him, Alam tara, did you not see, O Muhammad, ila al-mala'i min bani Israel, from the group of Bani Israel, min ba'di Musa, after Musa, إذ قالوا لنبي لهم ابعث لنا ملكا نقاتل في سبيل الله, when they asked their prophet of their time, send for us a king, ask Allah to give us a king to lead us so we can fight for the way of Allah. This happened, as you know, when Musa alayhi salam left Egypt, they were supposed to go to the promised land. And because of their disobedience, they didn't want to obey Allah in a certain command of fighting a certain people. Allah made them wander the desert for 40 years. A new generation came up, and this generation, Yusha bin Nun, was led by the boy who went with him to meet Khidr. That boy went, he grew, and he became the leader. They were victorious, but time again, Bani Israel, if you look at their history, they have these moments where they are expelled by certain powers of the world. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referring to a time period after Musa, and we don't really know exactly, but we know it is a time where they had a prophet, and it was a time where they were, being pushed around from place to place. They had no home. And very interesting, this is almost the same as our situation right now. If you read it, you'll see, inshallah. So what do they say? A new generation comes up again, a new generation that is tired of being humiliated, tired of being taken from one land to another. So they say to their prophet, we need a leader. Ask Allah to give us a king or someone who can lead us. So then the messenger, he says to them, uh, قال هل عصيتم إن كتب عليكم القتال ألا تقاتلوا. If fighting is prescribed for you, if you have to work, if you have to sacrifice, are you going to do it? قالوا, they responded angrily. They said, وما لنا ألا نقاتل في سبيل الله وقد أخرجنا من ديارنا وأبنائنا. How could we not fight? How could we not sacrifice when we have been kicked out of our homes, and not only us, our families, our women, our children? How could we not have the backbone to now want to now want dignity? فلما كتب عليهم القتال, Allah fast forwards the answer for us, but He's going to break it down. He says, so when it was prescribed for them to actually fight and move forward, تولوا إلا قليلا منهم, many of them did not do it. والله عليم بالظالمين, and Allah is full aware of the wrongdoers. Here Allah labels wrongdoers as people who say things that they don't mean, just fake. People, and as we know, we all could be, and we won't know we are, to be honest with you. Even myself, I don't know who I am until fitna happens, until a test, a trial happens. That's when we can see. And that's why the goldsmith is, in Arabic, is fatan, the one who can take out the filth and bring you the gold. Why? So fitna is a period of time. It could be a stressful time, a time of test, where we get to see who people truly are. If this room was all of a sudden no AC, we were stuck here for a long time, it's really hot, we may see who we are, right? People are going to show their true colors at that time. And so when it's air conditioned and everything's okay, everybody's nice and everybody's mellow. So here, they all shout for bravery. We need a homeland. We need to do this. We need to do this. But when it was time to work, Allah says only a few of them actually fulfilled that intention. And so, وَقَالَ لَهُمْ نَبِيُّهُمْ, their prophet then said to them, إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ بَعَثَ لَكُمْ طَالُوتَ مَلِكًا. Allah has revealed to me that Talut is going to be your new leader. He is selected by Allah. But the problem was Talut wasn't from the elite class. He was just a regular man to them. And so they felt like he shouldn't be the one. And the same thing with Prophet Muhammad ﷺ when he came. He wasn't from the elite of Quraysh. He was noble family, but because he's an orphan and they had others like Al-Walid and Abu Jahl and all these people who felt they should be in power, they said, no, we're not going to follow you because of that. And so here the same thing happened. قالوا أن لنا أن يكون له الملك علينا ونحن أحق بالملك منه. How could he be given the kingship, the leadership, when we are more right of it than him? ولم يؤت سعة من المال. And this was one of their criteria. They said, and he wasn't given much wealth. He's not too rich. To them, you have to be rich. So, قال إن الله اصطفاه عليكم. The Prophet says, Allah has selected him over you. وزاده بسطة في العلم والجسم. He has the physical and the knowledge to be able to do the job. والله يؤتي ملكه من يشاء. And Allah, by the way, gives his kingdom to whoever he wants. Allah is giving you answer, but at the end, if Allah says this is the one, this is the one. No one can argue. Wallahu wasi'un alim. And Allah is vast in his knowledge. So you can't compare or question Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وقال لهم نبيهم, then their prophet said to them, إن آية ملكه, one of his signs that he is the one that's supposed to be leading us, أن يأتيكم التابوت فيه سكينة من ربكم. He will be given a treasure chest that there will be in it relics of what Musa and Harun left. This treasure chest had been lost among the Bani Israel for years. And so a sign that he is going to be the one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, angels will bring that treasure chest to him. And once you see that, this you can't deny that after that. And then Allah says, Inna fi dhalika la ayah. In this is a sign, in kuntum mu'minin, if you are believers. If you're going to really believe, then just take this sign. And this is the reason. The story goes on. I mean, we can do it next week, inshallah. It's part of the second page. So that was it. What do you guys think? Should we do the second page or leave it for next week? Do the second page. We'll do it because it's part of the story. We're gonna complete it, inshallah. So فلما فصل طالوت بالجنود قال إن الله مبتليكم بنهر. So Talut begins his journey, and him and his army, they are going to pass by a body of water. So Talut gives clear instruction. He says, we're going to pass by a body of water. Whoever drinks from it is not with me. He's not going to be with me, except whoever has a hand span, meaning just enough for a hand span to quench that thirst. Anything more than that, you'll not be able to proceed. فَشَرِبُوا مِنْهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِنْهُمْ. Allah then says, many of them drank except a few of them. So, as you can see, each test, many of them are backing out because it's, in order to reach that level of getting the help of Allah, you have to do your part. Allah says He will not change a condition of a people until they first change to conditions within themselves. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, فَلَمَّا جَاوَزُوهُ هُوَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَهُ. When they were getting ready to face the enemy, Talut and those who were with him, some of them said, قالوا لا طاقة لنا اليوم بجالوت وجنوده. We don't have any chance against Talut and his army. You know, some of them, fear started to hit after these two tests. After those who were sincere and passed by with discipline the body of water, they said, oh my God, what are we doing? We're going to face a superpower, and we're just, a small group. So then Allah says, then some of them encouraged and inspired those who were remaining. قال الذين يظنون أنهم ملاقو الله. And look how Allah describes them. He says, those who for sure know they will meet Allah, they were thinking of the hereafter, the meeting of Allah. They said, كم من فئة قليلة غلبت فئة كثيرة. How many times has a small group defeated a large group? They're inspiring them now because they know that they're going to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one day. Wallahu ma'as sabirin. Allah is with the patients, so they're inspiring them. وَلَمَّا بَرَزُوا. So when the battle finally started, لِجَالُوتَ وَجُنُودِهِ. And they said, historians have said of Tafsir, they started off with almost 60,000. And after all of these trials and tests, they only ended up with about 300 and some odd men. So a very small percentage of the original group. وَلَمَّا بَرَزُوا لِجَالُوتَ وَجُنُودِهِ. When they faced Jalut and his army, قَالُوا رَبَّنَا أَفْرِغْ عَلَيْنَا صَبْرًا. They made dua to Allah. They said, oh Allah, pour on us patience, and وَثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَنَا, and stabilize our feet, meaning make us firm. وَانصُرْنَا عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الْكَافِرِينَ, and give us victory over disbelieving people. Allah then says, فَهَزَمُوهُمْ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. They defeated them with the permission of Allah. And in that army was Dawood alayhi salam. وَقَتَلَ دَاوُودُ جَالُوتَ. He is the one who actually killed Jalut, the king. Dawood, who was only supposed to be there to help his older brother. But because he had mastered the slingshot and everybody else was scared, Dawood volunteered. He says, I have mastered this particular craft of warfare. Allow me to duel Jalut. So in the olden days, they used to have a duel before the battle started. So Jalut and Dawood started the fight. Dawood killed him. This gave great inspiration for the army. Oh my God, our young guy just killed your best guy. And so the battle then took its shape from there. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says after that, Allah gave him the hikmah, He gave him the wisdom, and He made him a prophet later. He married Talut's daughter, and he became the king. That's why Dawood became King Dawood, and he had Sulaiman later. But so the point is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says they defeated them with the permission of Allah. And Allah then says, وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهُ النَّاسِ بَعْضُهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ. Had it not been Allah using some people to repel others, لَفَسَدَتِ الْأَرْضِ. There would be much corruption in the land. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ ذُو الْفَضْلِ عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ. Allah is full of bounty over all the worlds. تِلْكَ آيَاتُ اللَّهِ نَتْلُوهَا عَلَيْكَ. These are the verses of Allah. We reveal them to you, O Muhammad, with truth, بِالْحَقِّ. وَإِنَّكَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. And you are indeed one of the messengers. So this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using to encourage the people, the early Muslims. Yes, you may be few in number, but all you need is the help of Allah. And you could see that today, like the people of Gaza are actually showing us the whole world is against them. All the superpowers, all the best weaponry, resources, money, everything you could think of is against them. But there's just small few relying upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and going through the same trials. And as we know, these people were victorious. They will also be victorious, inshallah. Because we already have, it's history repeat itself. And even in the Battle of Badr, they were about 300 also. So that number is a significant number. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give our brothers and sisters a victory and to give them aid from this hardship, to have mercy upon their dead and to heal their sick. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be a united ummah. Allahumma azzal Islam wal Muslimin. Give dignity to Islam and to the Muslims wherever they may be. سبحان ربك العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خيرا.